I freaking love streaming. My goodness gracious me. This is only our second stream of the year. We're nearly 2 weeks in. My goodness gracious. We got to get it to at least 4, 5, or 6 streams this month, you know. So we better hurry this. We better speed this fucking process up. Oh, you know. We're also a little early today. You know, usually we'd stream in like an hour. So we'll see what happens. There is a few update things we can talk about. There's a few consumption things we can talk about too. Let's start on the Twitter, huh? Did we do anything on the Twitter? Finastream, Succession episode 1. I did watch it and it was okay. And I did also watch Akira and add it to our great checklist here. Akira seemed like an appropriate subject matter for our number 1 thingy on our little on our little media checklist here. So we applied it to such. I think Heath is already on like 73 or something, so that's embarrassing. True Elitari was very late to his stream the other day, and then he streamed for about 20 minutes, so that's pretty embarrassing. And true, we did hit 500 subscribers on secondary ENT. How much are we up to now? I'm trying to search here. I think it's like 502. Because my video is blowing up today, everybody. True, 502. True, look at this 400 viewed video. Yeah, I said I was going to... Oh, yeah, I uploaded all these videos, huh? I didn't even think to consider that. I also didn't even tweet them out. That was probably stupid. But today, this has gotten like 400 views. I think it's up to like 500. Actually, I opened this up. No, it's this one. Yeah, I got 400 views in the last 48 hours, so... It's not even showing 400 views front-facing over here. And why haven't I liked this damn video? How long? It's Monday. I was like, has it been a week since I finished work? No, it's been 3 days. It's kind of crazy that I thought that maybe it'd been that long. My sense of time has gone crazy. What part was I up to? Were we done with Twitter? Yeah, basically. Oh my god, fucking Wrestle Kingdom happened. It was crazy. True, since we last streamed, we probably uploaded all of these videos. The Naruto discussion didn't do too well. This, apparently this Elitari thumbnail was not good enough for the big views. We got Into Hell, and this isn't representative of that at all. In 2 days, we will get to see what Hell looks like in Chainsaw Man in more detail once again. So that's very exciting. We can't wait for that. Also in 2 days, on the 14th, we have penciled in is the upload of the Denji video. We should hit around that date, I think. I was working on it a lot today. We've kind of done all right since, on our new lease on life since I've quit, right? When did this come out? Did this come out on Friday? Or when was this? 3 days ago, January 8th, and it was at night. Oh no, this is the day before. So maybe since I quit, I haven't done a lot, so, you know, because this video didn't count. But true, We uploaded 2 scripted videos to Secondary ENT, totaling about 10 minutes of scripted content, in which I watched the first episode for both these current winter 2026 anime, and then basically wrote reviews. Review writing is boring. It's also easy. Obviously, there's not a lot of polish on either one of these videos. I haven't gotten a lot of feedback on either one of them, really. What is there even to say? Like, are you going to be blown away? Funnily enough, I do think I like this show a lot better. So, but for real, so true, bestie. This is a new common channel I have. At 10 01. Like, I recognize this name now. Aliri says true and wow, true. Oh, I explained this on Aliri stream, but Aliri had told me. First of all, Aliri announced last year that he was reviewing this anime because he saw a trailer for it one time or something. And then I was trying to get him to do something, and he basically told me, oh, I've got my shitty Darwin incident video coming out tomorrow. And then, like, the night before, I just saw it, and I was like, fuck it. I watched this fucking 58-minute shit. I could probably watch the Darwin incident first episode that's, 20 minutes long to get some context for when I watch this great Elite RE video that's going to come out. So I watched it. And then the next day, I think I talked to Elite RE, and he said, yeah, at 10 o'clock, my Darwin incident video is coming out, so I can't do whatever I was trying to make him do. And so I hatched a great plan where I was like, let me do a little review thing. And I was going to try and have it come out the exact same time he had. And that would be really funny when he realized I had done that to prank him. So that's why this video exists. This didn't work because I was late. And then I was trying to neg him into delaying his video for 30 minutes. But also, Alidari was playing Factorio when his video went live. So he wasn't even there to see it. So the prank wouldn't have even worked anyway. But now we are so invested in this great Darwin incident anime. My goodness, what is Charlie here going to do next? He's got a girlfriend. It's crazy. I did look up the manga to this. It's only like 39 chapters. Also, there was some censorship in the anime because I scrolled through chapter 1. The lady on the tree, like the bully guy talks back to her. And in the anime, she gives him the thumbs down. She says, frick you, guy. In the manga, she flipped him off with the real middle finger, the rude finger. That was crazy. So, they're just censoring this great anime out here. I got 11 comments on this one, huh? Is this a sponsored video? True. Zillow thought I was getting paid for this. And Heath was mad about me getting brainwashed by Elite RE. I think Miller said something similar too. And then there's this one, of course. This is the much more popular show, and it is shown because it has started to get a lot of views, which is fine. But true. This show is okay. It looks pretty, at least. And I just saw this comment before I went live. Dude, you did such a great job. It really isn't anything special, but it's still nice to watch. Saying it's amazing is an overstatement, like some reviewers have said, but also calling it garbage and calling all anime fans that watch it brain dead is going too far. You did a fantastic job. I'm just the greatest secondary ENT YouTuber of all time. Oh my goodness, Metroidvanias, why Digibro and Hypocrite are wrong about everything. This would have been a funny video I'm sure I watched back in the day. But, I'm no expert on Metroidvanias. I didn't beat Hollow Knight like Elite RE. Oh my god, Heath has shown up. Let's get his media checklist up. We mentioned it briefly, but I forgot to check it out. I'm slowly working my way through things. I got a whole plan, which I'll go over in a second. Why isn't the next one just like the fucking thing? So what are we up to, 70? 8? That's kind of pathetic. Also, Heath is giving away the scores in the thing now, which is good. But I'm not going to do it because it's kind of ugly, I think. But look, this one got an 8 out of 10. I feel like I heard about this show. This one got a 7 out of 10. This one got an 8 out of 10. This one got a This one didn't get anything. So this is a new thing? I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. You didn't even get a cute picture for the start of the thread? Well, I didn't do that last time, so I'm not doing that this time. But this is, I think, the Tokyo Ghoul girl, I think Heath said. So, that's crazy. I feel like that's the Tokyo Ghoul art style a little bit. But I could be completely wrong. Also, what's this great photoshopping over here? I can't do that. Oh, there's this 100 meters anime everybody won't shut the fuck up about. I bet it's not even good. I bet it sucks. Has Alita even started his fucking thread yet? Did you see Alita's second One Piece video, Heath? That was embarrassing, huh? Look, he really likes this Reese art for some reason. Embarrassing. True Jockey Bacon really likes Conclave, apparently. It was his number 2 favorite thing. F1 was his number 1. Now, that's crazy. There was some other weird stuff on here. It's very far away. He's got his 2 books he was telling me his girlfriend made him read. He's got Sinners. He's also got this, like, turn-based tactical RPG up here that I've never seen or heard of. So, you know. And also Cowboy Bebop the movie, which we covered, was 4th. I guess maybe Rees don't count for Alita Re. I mean, Jockey Bacon here, because Steins Gate is nowhere to be seen. Did you check your Mal Wrapped? No, you did try to get me to do this. I feel like there's, like, nothing on there. Didn't you see my comment on Ari's video? I'm sure I did. On which video? The Jujutsu Kaisen one? Because I commented on that video and got, like, 4 likes. That was funny. Oh, I forgot. You can't search Ordinary Ari. It doesn't come up because, you know, he's not famous enough. You got to YouTube search it. Ordinary Ari. So did the Golden Globes happen today? There was that video in the corner. Which movie won? Which movie's getting the Oscar for real? Was it on this one? I hope it's on this one, Heath. Or is it just me? Episode 6 or 7, 6, 7. Was this pretty funny? One Piss. True. Hey, they hid my comment. One Piss. Your life is gonna change, just don't drop. True. Crazy how I'm always right and everybody should listen to me straight away and not waste your time. Oh, this is about Alita changing from the sub to the dub. And then to the sub again, I think. Or he was dubbing, then he was subbing, then he... I don't know what the fuck Alita was complaining about. Isn't it crazy? And we recorded our Evangelion discussion last night, but Alita, he's, you know, I don't know what the frickin' hell he's doing, but he hasn't uploaded it yet. What a loser. It's crazy that apparently on Netflix, they have the director's cut edition of episodes. Which is cool, because that means we get to watch the director's cut versions. Which other versions I like more tentatively, but that is kind of crazy that they're on there. I don't know why I brought that up. Oh, I guess it was about... I was prompted because of Alita switching from sub and dub, and I feel like he said something about that in the Ava discussion. But yeah. Whatever. But true, I'm getting so many views. Look, we love our shitty... we don't love these shitty videos at all. Now, in this style, of course, I've still got to do my Land of Waves arc one. I finished editing the audio for that today. It's funny because I finished the scripts to all 3 of them, including the Land of Waves arc one, at the same time. And then obviously this one should have come out first, but because I was trying to prank Alita Re, I made this one come out first. And the beginning of this video had a scripted thing that was supposed to reference this video, where I say, like, I said I was going to be contemporaneous in both. But I say it, like, passionately in this one, and in this one I, like, reiterate it. But this is the one that came out first, so, you know, the great purpose of that gag will be forever misunderstood, and that's very upsetting. But yeah, I haven't made the Land of Waves one. Basically, yesterday I just had to finish Evangelion. Though, actually, I spent a lot of the day before watching a bunch of it. I only had to watch, like, 3 episodes yesterday. And today I already watched episode 14, so that's crazy. I'm just so ahead of the game. Also, I'm on, like, episode 25 of Naruto or something. The ED and OP just changed in the episode that's coming up, which is the recap episode. Because I was always checking. Like, I would finish an episode and check the beginning of the next episode to see if the OP changed. Because then that's exciting. And I wanted to see. Then maybe I would watch it. But Ava's in that part now where I really just want to keep watching Ava, but I have to focus, right? Because I've started using Google Calendar, and basically here until the 14th it should just be Denji stuff. Like, we just have to get the Denji video out, because then I can move on, because I got some other ideas that'll be fun. So that's like the focus. Here to here, the focus was Evangelion discussion. Watch them episodes. Here to here, it has to be Denji, and I'm sure the Land of Waves arc video will come out somewhere in here, because it's not going to take that long, really. But, you know, then you just gotta, after this, we can do many things. Maybe I can spend all of the 15th watching the great Evangelion. But also, we're going to be recording Ava on these days. Now, how we've figured it out initially is that we'll probably do the rest of the series this day, then everybody goes home, watches End of Ava, then we discuss the End of Ava this day. And then we'll decide if we're doing rebuilds after that. That means this is the weekend for the next Naruto part. So it'll either be the 31st or the 1st. So things are a little bit far out, you know? But anyway. Well, I just thought the contemporaneous audio was you copying pasting it as a bit. No, it was different. If you truly paid attention, you would know that. But this one was obviously supposed to come out first. It is funny. I've been delving a little bit into... Because there's a bunch of secondary ENT stuff that I'm, like, also thinking about. So I'm going to make I'm going to rank every, like, mainline Crash game, and that's going to be a separate video. I'm also tinkering with, like, the approaches, right? So with that video, that's going to just be a PowerPoint, I think, and I'll go through the slides. Because that's easy, because it's a ranking, and, you know, you press over to do the next one. For a second, I was like, why don't I just literally make that a scripted main channel video? But then I was like, I don't want to do that. And right now, I only have footage for, like, the first 4 games. I don't want to collect footage for all of them at this very moment. I have the Land of Waves arc that's in this style and the One Piece arc review styles. Obviously, I have to do a One Piece arc review, at least one before the end of the month, because it has been on the back burner a lot. We've got the Elite RE Night of the Seven Kingdom discussions. That'll be for 6 weeks. There's also my idea with Akira. Do I have it? No, it's on a different thing. Let me see if I can remember. Get this notepad up. True. Golden Age Falcon Prologue Pain. Stupendous. Maybe I talked about this last time. I'm gonna do 5 old anime movies and do like a review of them all in one big video. I'm gonna do 5 new anime movies, and I have the list of movies. So it's Akira is 1, then both Vampire Hunter D movies. So old is like 2000 and pre, where it really should be like all 80 shit, but I wanted to do those movies, so they're included. Ninja Scroll and Jinro, I think, will probably be the other one, just because I think that's cool, and I watched the Steven video on that. I've also been trying to watch a lot of videos, too. But the video stuff is, like, completely boring, and because on the PowerPoint, I was like, at the end of the month, I'll make a digest video each month or something. I have, like, 0 videos I think are worthy of talking about on digest so far. So, Heath, if you see some good videos, make sure you tell me about them. The modern movies, let's see if I can remember. Your Name was one of them. Night is Long Walk On Girl or Night is Short Walk On Girl. I can never remember which one. The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. What are the other ones? I try to do one of all the big kind of directors. The Sword and the Stranger, right? That's like 2007 one. Oh, and Paprika. So those are the 5 for that. So I kind of want to do all of those in January. That would I've got 9 more movies to watch for the rest of the month, which kind of seems ambitious. Though a lot of those old ones are very short, which I do like a lot. So there's that. Hold on, let's make a list of secondary ENT videos that are supposed to come out. Land of Waves review. Syrup. Don't fall over, microphone, you stupid piece of shit. Syrup Village review. 5 old anime movies reviewed. 5 new anime movies reviewed. 3 Ava discussion videos. What else did I say? This is for Succession. I'm doing Succession by myself. I probably could have asked somebody if they wanted to do it with me, but I thought it would be... I haven't done a solo, like, review discussion for a while, so I think it would be fun. So Succession Season 1 discussion, we'll call it. So, wait. So we're trying to categorize these correctly, right? So these are both discussions. Because they're unscripted, it'll probably just be me on the back of an image talking about this. Then we've got ranking Mainline, Crash, Games, PowerPoint. Throwing in there Heavenly Delusion Catch Up. That's still something we've got to do. There's other things, like we got Chainsaw Man, chapter reviews, even though I guess they're discussions. So on top of this, and then there's like, do I review episode 2 and 3, 2 of both these shows? Since Sentenced to be a Hero was popular, I might do that one, but I kind of like the Darwin one more. The problem is these videos take like a whole day to make, kind of. It's probably not true. They probably take like 6 hours to make. But because you kind of want to get them out on time. Now, first of all, I think this was delayed until like the 16th or something, which was nice because it was supposed to come out on the 10th, which was like the day after I got this uploaded, so it would have been like very outdated pretty immediately. I don't know, the Darwin one should be fine. I mean, you just got to get the footage, which is easy for episode reviews because you just have to go on a torrent site and get the most recent episode. So it's possible. I should really start like finishing these up by getting like the Land of Waves one out of the way. And I think I'm forgetting things I just said anyway for what else would have to be on this, like the digest. Digest. And shit like that. Oh yes, I gotta do my anime list for Heath, alright? I really want to reach Yamada's first time, okay? So that's gonna be a thing. Oh, also, I torrented Escaflowne because it's not on fucking Crunchyroll anymore. So that's a thing too that I want to start. Mal is not loading. Does that mean everything is not loading and my stream has gone offline or what? No, it looks like the stream is fine. It looks like it's just shitty my anime list that's broken. Now, why don't I just click on links on Heath's link? Oh no, we're not connecting to chat either. Heath, can you hear me? What directors are you trying to hit? Well, it kind of just ended up being like me hitting a bunch of like directors, right? Because it's like, what, Paprika is Cone, Your Name is the Your Name guy, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time is the other famous guy. I don't think Sword and the Stranger is a famous guy, right? And the other one is Yuasa, right? So it kind of, what is this? 158 anime, 1,212 episodes, 519 hours. This is crazy. These are crazy stats. You're not going to find somebody with better stats. How do I go down? Do I press down? Oh my god. Let's take a closer look. TV, movie. The connection is fine. True. This is good. O&A, OVA. True. Heath did watch a lot of OVAs. And specials. We love the specials. Based on your score, it was 6.34. It's pretty cool. Top anime. Mono, which Heath has never told us about, so that's pretty cool. This show is a visual spectacle. To me, at least, it's peak slice of life visuals and watching how smooth. True, it cut off. Is this a new show? I never heard of this show. Can I click on it? Oh my god, you can click on it. This is crazy and interactive. Hot takes. Oh my god, you thought whatever this is was sucked. This show is the worst OP of winter 2025. The guy who starts rapping it's dreadful. Well, that show sucked, apparently. Your general bias. You love sci-fi and mecha and horror and space and seinen. You just don't like them shonen series, Heath. Your anime journey through time. True, that's a reference. You most time spent on Pokemon. Wait, how much Pokemon did you watch? Oh, 40 episodes. That's like nothing. Is 16 hours really just 40 episodes? That's possible, right? Because 1 hour is 3 and 3, 10 is 3. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. Did I watch 40 episodes of Pokemon last year? Probably. I wasn't updating it, so we wouldn't know. Quickest binge. In one day, you watched all 3 episodes of Area 88. Now, that's crazy. Recency bias. Seasonal Warrior. True, Heath loves. Out of the 84 anime series, 83 were this year. I guess everything old you watched was an OVA. Looking back on the 4 seasons. Winter, true. The Medalist was a 10 out of 10. Can you believe that shit? Zenshu was an 8. Alita is going to make me watch that show. Spring, Apocalypse Hotel, boring. Mono, boring. This one's got colors. Summer City Animation. Now that was a quality show. Shitty Togepi's Original Sin. That's some Elite RE core shit, so it can't be good. And then fall, Isekai Quartet 3 got a 7 and was the highest. That's not a good sign. And the people you met along the way. Oh my goodness, this girl is his favorite. Watched roles, and there's a bunch of people down there. Favorite company encounters. Your favorite studios. Wait, where was it? You didn't watch any anime by your favorite companies, or at least you didn't have favorites yet? Oh, I guess this depends on what you have your favorites on. True. Community events. Let's wrap things up with a final recap. True. Watches mean score, completed anime, top anime. What is this? This is an old show. Oh, I can't click on it anymore. Share your Wrapped. It's not even my Wrapped, you stupid idiots. Now, why isn't this loading? There we go. Let's watch the trailer for this great show. Sounded like Ritsuko for a second. True girl. So that's a positive. Another girl. That's a positive. They're at school. That's a positive, I think. There was a shark. Bro, she just said something wacky, you know it. This girl looks like a cat. Oh my god, I thought it was a yucky boy, but it was just a girl in a motorbike outfit. So it seems like this is just a slice of life show. Now those are the shows we like to look. Weekend animation, like City the Animation? That's crazy. Oh my god, I'm never logged in because I set up my account through my Twitter account. What happens if my Twitter account gets banned? You know, Elon be doing anything out here, especially to brave truth tellers like me. Now, where do I get? There it is. There's the Wrapped. Let me read chat before I get into this. I like Summer Wars more than Leapt Through Time for Hosoda, but Leapt Through Time is like a thing they talk about in Steins Gate, so it must be good. And Summer Wars seems boring. It's like in a field on the poster. Boring. Shonen Bombers is the OVA. Oh, I see. In English, at least I forgot how to spell the Japanese part. It's like Bankasho or something. I don't know what that is. But here we go. Nation of Enter 2025 anime wrap-up. Is there going to be anything on here? 13 anime. 24 episodes. 18 hours. I don't think I updated anything. This is all a lie. Let's take a closer look at your progress. 1 TV anime, 9 movies, 3 specials. So the 1 TV anime is Wonder Egg Priority. And the movies. It's all Karanoki Yokai. And something else, I guess. This isn't going to be good. My average rating is even lower than Heath's. Uh-oh. Top anime, Wonder Egg Priority. I love that freaking show. You scored it higher than 73% of Mal users because they're fucking retarded. My hottest take was this movie was mid AF on God. Oh, I thought this was the good one with the sister, but I think that's movie 6. But true, who knows what was going on in this movie. Remember this guy? He was like crazy and you think he killed this girl, but I'm pretty sure he didn't. That was crazy. Urban fantasy. This is all just... we love that anime. Garden of Sinners. Your anime journey through time. Most time spent. Karanoki Yokai. True. 1 episode plus 7 films. There's an episode? I must have watched it. Look at this low quality image here. Like the show, am I right? Quickest binged in 1 day. True, because I don't update it, so I would have just said I watched everything immediately. My recency bias was 0. Because I didn't put the few episodes of Apocalypse Hotel and stuff on here. Looking back at the 4 seasons. True. And the people we met along the way. Truing. Community events. True. Let's wrap up with a final recap. True. 0.8 days watched. Well, that was a quality Wrapped. We love it. It's the bane of my life that Karanoki Yokai image is so low res. Yeah, that's the first time I noticed it. It wasn't very good. But don't worry, this year we will watch... Oh yeah, these are all my secondary ENT video ideas. So the point of me bringing this up was supposed to be like, I probably shouldn't do these. But it's my mindset has probably changed now that this one did really well. I don't know. I'll see. This is probably too long, but also it was a 58-minute episode that probably had more to say about it. Also, I could probably bundle them together. Like if I like fall out for like episode 2 of both shows, I could do episode 2 and 3 review or something like that. This can't really become a main focus of things, I don't think. So anyway, we'll see. This is the consumption front. Oh, I started playing Astro's Playroom. And not having a job now, I'm like, I really don't want to spend money on things. So, like, Astrobot is $110. It's like, now I actually have to consider, is like, Astrobot going to be worth $110? I have no idea. I've never considered the worth of a video game in monetary value. I'll probably do it, but it'll be like the only one. There is a thing where it's like, I do have a bunch of these. Like, I already own The Order. I already own Spider-Man. I already own these Final Fantasy games. Like, maybe I should just play them instead, but we'll see. Astro's Playroom, of course, is free with the PS5, so that's why I get to play that now. Ball X Pit I've been playing. I played a slight little bit of Legends ZA last night, waiting for Elite RE to stream. So all this is weird. Oh, with Succession, I'm kind of just watching Succession so I can watch Industry, which is like a Succession knockoff, but seems more interesting. But I'm like, well, I'll watch Succession first. I probably should. That Succession first episode was just kind of okay. Succession has a lot of awkward dialogue in it. And it's very clearly like trying to make fun of its characters a lot. I don't know if I think that's cool. Or just like lame. Like I get like they're a bunch of rich guys, so we're like making fun of rich people. It's like, okay, sure. Also, I have to finish this fucking book before like I got like 6 days, so that's something we got to do too. But obviously Naruto and Neon Genesis are going on. I was like, maybe I should start Yu-Gi-Oh! Cause I'm just going crazy with the things I should be starting. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see on all this fucking shit. But you know, oh, and I also want to make Hunter x Hunter like arc review videos if I read through it, so that's a thing also. But you know, we gotta figure some things out first. Just copy RE and become Pay Talks Anime. Well, isn't that what I did? Isn't that what I did with my great Sentence to Be a Hero video? I already got like the thumbnail right though, right? Mine were both just screenshots. I thought they were okay screenshots though, so I'm not hating that one. Probably the monkey one could have been zoomed in a little more. I mean, it's just clear, like the Jujutsu Kaisen jump that Elite RE has is crazy, because Jujutsu Kaisen is very popular. And isn't it only like a 12-episode season or something? I don't have time to catch up on Jujutsu Kaisen, nor do I really have the motivation. The most glazed anime in 2026? Oh my goodness, let's watch it. Let's see if this video is better than mine. It's by Karu. This must be a big channel. We're trying to keep up with the big channels. Oh, another reason why I brought this up before is because I was like researching that Anno video I was maybe going to make about that news story or whatever. And so I watched like a bunch of like people's videos on it. Anno, hold on, Hideaki Anno tourist. Let's just bring this up. Are these videos going to come up? Is this a video I watched? Oh yeah, I watched this guy, like 5 minutes of this guy's video. This guy didn't seem too bad. He like was much more measured. Obviously, Chibi Reviews made a video about this that was really retarded. Oh, did you see how hard Chibi Reviews came out in defense of the ice guy? That's very funny. Oh my god, I watched so many Steven videos. I basically watched all of them. I caught up. The Crunchyroll video wasn't too good. But all these videos are really good. Oh my god, I watched them on this account, so you can see the lines for all of them. I didn't watch the Patlabor one yet, though. And maybe I should stop. But I went back, I watched the Angel's Egg one. And stuff like that. So this is all cool. I'm sure he has an Akira video I should probably go and watch. I feel like there was something in Akira that I wasn't understanding. Did I never watch this Ava spin-offs video? You gotta watch that video. No, I think I did. It was all about product placement. I think. But anyway, I was watching some. Oh, and also when I was looking at like the Darwin incidents and the sentence to be a hero stuff. So I was watching like. I watched that really popular reaction channel. But I only watched like 5 minutes of it. These guys, your boy Roshi, I watched this. Till here, you can see, because I did it on this account. And then I got bored. Because I was like, I didn't want to go back through the actual episode to see if I forgot anything I wanted to say. So I got this far and I was like, yeah, I remember everything. And then I watched this guy react to the Darwin incident thing. It is funny that there are like seasonal reactors versus like legacy anime reactors and how they all intercept. This guy was kind of annoying, I guess. There's like so much coverage of anime nowadays. You know, there's just so many channels that are just so bad, and you know we should be keeping tabs on them a little bit. My top 100 anime openings of all time. We're checking the top 10. Apparently, Alita E is making a video like this soon, so isn't that exciting? You need to start pointing arrows in red text. True. I'm not overdoing it. Pay Talks anime, right? Is this, Heath, you're more in tune, is this really the only guy that's gotten popular in like the last 5 years on AniTube? There's got to be some other people, right? I guess Steven is kind of one, but he's just been around forever and has slowly like consolidated viewership, I think. Chainsaw Man movie did something special 5 days ago. Now this has got to be a great... Oh, and it is, and I've already said this before, but there's like it's just everything is a video essay now. Like what used to be like a shitty vlog by an idiot is now in like video essay form whenever they have like a shitty opinion. What Chainsaw Man Part 2 is really about. Life after trauma. True. Like I watched a video called like The Era of Shonen Ends in 2026 or whatever. And it was like clearly like a guy that had just turned like 21 and doesn't like shonen anymore. And he's like projecting his experience onto the wider community. And he's like, the community now lusts for grown up and slow stories. And it's funny because every one of these channels, their example for like a grown up story that they really like is Farmland Vinland Saga. Because it's like slow, I think. I don't know, there's just so many little pockets of anime fandom, and they're all just so retarded. And it's just fun to watch them. Maybe some shoujo magical girl channels and that girl that said save the anime. It is true, in Yako. But she's never as popular as I think she is, either. I can't think of any big new AniTubers. True. I saw Mother's Basement made a video today, and Super Eye Patch Wolf makes videos, but like most of the time they're about fucking video games, right? He's barely an anime channel. Like these are all like commentary channels, but even then, this is like a modestly sized channel. It's like 50k. Emotional masterpiece in the making, true, and it's just like talking about a bunch of this shit. Also, there's such a victim narrative through all of these too. It's like, we're getting censored, guys. Texas just passed the bill. We're all gonna fucking die. So that's fun. What was I thinking? Oh, I wanted to look at what Super Eye Patch Wolf has been doing. Super Eye Patch Wolf be blowing up on regular Eye Patch Wolf. That's all I be knowing. Superhero. He's my superhero. Super Eye Patch Wolf. We love this guy. Oh yeah, I saw his Andrew Tate clickbait. You cannot play these games. See, it's all like vague stuff. Void Stranger, true. I've heard about this game. It's been on my list to play forever. Favorite things? Oh, another wrestling video. I don't think I watched this wrestling video. Finish the story. True. He would really like Cody Rhodes' old Super Eye Patch Wolf. How Jake Paul keeps winning fights? Now that's crazy. I would watch some of those videos, I think, but I never do. Didn't he make a new Berserk video, and didn't we watch a little bit of it one time? Oh, and he made a Chainsaw Man video. I should have watched all these videos, but I never did. Finding new videos and channels has sucked since Digest was retired. That is probably true. And Heath, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be me. And by me, I mean you. So you got to go out and you got to find those great channels. Look, we've got White Light here now. That's a real channel. Jacob Geller, true. This is a guy. So he made a video this year yet? Nope. Oh, I did already watch these videos. I caught up on him. Anyway, what was I saying? You want to watch some anime openings? Let's see if these are good ones. Oshinoko, that's not a good one. Black Clover, that's not a good one. Oh, everybody shut the fuck up. We've got a mutual here. Shut up, Black Clover. This shitty one is not better than that one. Eggia. Fake Japanese Yu-Gi-Oh opening? I would never. Oh, we like this one. Now this one's like, I think 11th on my list, so you know, it's not this high. This is not good. We don't want it. Oh, the first one. Now this is an interesting Naruto. Alita, you not looking. Saint Seiya. True initial D. True basically. This one's okay. Oh, the Japanese Dragon Ball GT is #1. I don't know, it's an alright song, I guess. The second time seeing this OP, time to put it on the watch list. What is it? Well, I don't know what this fucking shit is. Oh, but that sure was a list. They did have the Getter Robo opening, so that was pretty good. God, I've become such a toxic hater of Swano. What's he do again? That's a song guy. You watch way more YouTube than me? Well, looks like we're fucked then. Finding new... Oh, I already fucking said that. What's that guy that does the Genius of videos? He used to be a Berserk YouTuber. I watched his Vagabond video today. Genius of Berserk, or whatever the fuck. He also did that Ava Feminist video, I think. This guy. Now, this guy's Berserk videos are usually annoying, so... And he does the voice. Hey, I made this video as Berserk so good, and I said, it's the greatest still. The artistic evolution of Chainsaw Man. So this guy makes some videos. I watched this one today. I don't know, I didn't really have anything to say. Everything he had to say about Vagabond was kind of interesting. I didn't know Vagabond had like 10 chapter runs where there were no words or whatever, and then it had like it has a whole story arc where you follow a deaf guy, so there's like no text in those ones too or something, so that was cool. I didn't know it was based off a real guy though. That was lame. What's this guy's most popular video? I swear this guy made an Ava video. The artistic evolution of Naruto. Yeah, the importance of sex in Neon Genesis Evangelion. I remember this video. That one I remember thinking was pretty good. But true, just a bunch of videos. I had a... No, it's not this one. Video spreadsheet ideas. So I was thinking, so obviously we argued about Ava for like 2 hours last night. Basically Bacon saying it was terrible and me trying to say it was good and everybody else was caught in the crossfire. And I was cucked the whole time because I really couldn't talk about what's good about Ava because, you know, it's like the characters and stuff. And, you know, you can't really talk about them in totality after 13 episodes. So I was like... Because I was like made a note for like the beginning of the next one. So when we're finished, can I talk about this? And I kind of came to the conclusion like, no, you really can't until end of Ava. So you'd have to wait a little longer. And then I just started thinking about it. So I like started a document for an idea. There's a world in which I should do like Alexander-style videos for every single Evangelion character, like all like 10 possible main characters. They would all probably be like 15 minutes long or something crazy. And then there's also the idea of just doing one video about the cast. And this is kind of the problem I've run into with the Berserk videos, where it's like, do I want to do 17 different videos about 17 different characters in Berserk, or pairs of characters? Like, one about Jill and Rosine, one about Teresa and the Count, one about Irvine and Sonia, one about the royal family, one about Farnese's family, one about Salat and the Bakiraka, like all these different groups of great characters? Or do I just make it like one 50-minute video where I run down them all quickly? There was another big idea I had. but I forget what it was. Because it should be the Denji video, then the Denji video that I cut out of the Denji video. And then after that, I don't really know what it's going to be after that, so we'll figure it out. This somehow, this was brought up because I was looking at this guy, but I couldn't tell you why this connected to this guy. But this guy made a something video about this. The Vagabond video was cool, but it was kind of just cool because I was learning about Vagabond, I think. Anyway. The real best OP. Oh my god, he was linking something. Swano, I feel like is the Attack on Titan guy, right? Vampire Knight opening. 15 years ago, my goodness. There's no visuals. Oh my god, there's visuals. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of one of the anime, and because it's 15 years old, it might literally be this anime, where before, because, you know, you buy all the great DBZ brick set or whatever, and before every disc, there's an ad for a different anime, and they're all the coolest anime of all time. And sometimes it was Naruto, sometimes it was One Piece, sometimes it was Bleach, sometimes it was Dr. Greyman or whatever the fuck. And then sometimes it was some obscure anime that I've never heard of since, but I swear it looked really cool. There was one that was like clearly Romeo and Juliet inspired. There was one that was about vampires. I'm pretty sure that might be this one, judging by the fact that it's 15 years old and it would have been promoting them around this time or something like that. Sometimes it was Bo or whatever the fuck that show was called. Sometimes it was Toriko, you know, there are some anime that are lost to time forever, and maybe I'm watching one right now. The ensemble cast of Ava 4 people, I just said it's 10 people. I don't know, this looks a little too modern for the DBZ box sets now that I'm looking at it. Right, that guy like iced him and that guy was gonna fire him. This song ain't even good. Get loud. It's not even getting loud. Where they're all fighting over this young lady. I wonder who she chooses in the end. But true, we are truing right now with that one. Like, my big neglect in this new life I've started focusing on making videos is I've completely neglected Footy ENT. I did it a little bit today, but then I got sidetracked reading an article that I don't think is going to help in the production of videos at all. So this is a video about Lenny that's 24 minutes long. Simpsons analysis. Now that seems cool. What do you think we're saying about Lenny?
Lenny is one of the least important characters on The Simpsons. He was originally created to simply be Homer's coworker, a lump of flesh for Homer to talk to at the
Also, I don't like that YouTube automatically starts with subtitles now. It pisses me off.
plant. And he evolved into being
I love the OP because somehow the only anime outside of Pokemon that I watched as a kid. That's interesting.
a lump of flesh.
That's why I like Yu-Gi-Oh!
Talk to at Moe's. In 37 seasons, he has received very little character development, no consistent continuity details,
Not
nor a featured
development.
spotlight episode. His counterpart Carl has received at least 2 dedicated spotlights in comparison. From the point of view of the show, Lenny is just a guy. And yet, Lenny is a beloved character in the fandom. He has delivered
Don't worry, guys. I remember Lenny.
so many memorable jokes, affected so many stories in a way that only Lenny could. In fact, there is a running joke that Lenny is secretly the most remarkable man in Springfield. So, is this all
True, because my dad used to say, like, this guy and Carl are, like, legitimate scientists or something, so they're smart. When I just thought they were idiots. But I don't know. We're not going to watch this video on stream. Oh my god, do you see my favorite songs list was, like, recommended in the recommended here? Don't watch either of these videos. What does... This video seems like it could be fun for 2 minutes. And then this one... I don't know. We have to research how to get popular by looking at Pei Does Anime.
Social media is going crazy for this anime, and this is why.
Now, we're starting to see a trend with all these Sentenced to be a Hero videos. Everybody talks about how popular it is.
Everyone on social media is going crazy for this anime, and this is why.
True, we exploded. Heath, did you watch this shitty show yet?
To be a Hero has a 9.4 out of 10 on IMDb as of recording this, with only 1 episode currently out. I want to say the internet is overhyping things like they usually do. But man, that'd be hypocritical, because I glazed it too. Oh my...
Should I start doing cool edits to funny jokes like that in my videos?
God, that is crazy.
I think that's the secret to success. Oh my god, I was like treating this like it was an 18 sub channel, but now I just remembered it's 250 fucking K. Oh, wee. So this is the thumbnail structure we need. Not old this, you fucking loser. We need the text on a screenshot. I can do that. When the author puts themselves in an anime, not some fucking lady, the anime where everyone sucks. It is true, you do need the vague titles. You just need this is what the Moist Critical guy does, right? You just need, everybody has to click on the video because they want to figure out what the video is about. Whereas you what do you call it? You disgruntle, dissociate, you disregard a bunch of people if you make the subject of the video known. Because then why would they need to click on it if they don't care? Oh my god, the great Mr. Gems is here. I had to copy and paste Mr. Gems' name into my great Denji video finale to thank him for being a great patron just before. So I'm up to date on Mr. Gems. Kyle, you gotta stop stating these streams while I'm asleep. No, it was not funny. What was not funny? I forgot what I was just saying. The sentence to be a hero situation is crazy. It is crazy. What did I call my video? I've already forgotten. Hold on, let me think. Oh, is it really that special? I guess that was a suitably generic title.
Damn! This is exactly what people thought animation would look like in the big 2025. The story goes like this. In a world where people are in an endless battle against the Demon Lord, being a hero is the worst punishment you can get. One that's only given to the worst of the worst. The bottom
Alina really needs to watch this show just to put the animation in like a tier list of like things he thinks have good animation. So I need to know, because if things he thinks have good animation are like this, then I'm completely uninterested. But Jujutsu Kaisen's got to look better than this, right?
Highest penalty given to criminals. The heroes are literally just pawns
because
that the
I do not give a shit about how this show looks.
Sacrifice on the front lines, or as Reactor Me describes it. So it's like what they did with the Suicide Squad, but forever. And the reason they're being used as human
oh my god, he reacts on another channel.
Is because they're immortal. Yep, the kingdom can find your body, bring it back, and resurrect it as long as they have another body in exchange. And once you're good to go, they send you back to the front lines to do it again. Here's my problem though. Can't the criminals just escape? Like surely, ruthless criminals won't just obey the rules and die for free.
True, they've got a bomb on their things. Good setup.
I'd be booking it the millisecond they drop me into the battlefield. I think the author thought this through, because similar to the Suicide Squad, they place a magic seal on your neck so that if you try to escape, you'll start looking like Squidward when those Krabby Patties went straight to his thighs. Not only that, but every time you're resurrected, you lose a part of yourself. Your memories, your sense of self, your freaking Valorant account. Someone deadass hacked my account and used it as a smurf. I got that shit back and that motherfucker was Plat 3. The highest rank I've ever been. Loki, when they—
Am I just aged out of this shit, or is it just because I'm a boomer at heart? Do I need Valorant jokes about losing my Valorant account and my thingy? I don't play multiplayer games. Those are for kids.
Tried accessing it again with two-factor and I got that email. Part of me considered letting him use it. Bro was cooking. Anyway, so you blow up when you try to escape, and you lose a part of yourself every time you die. I think I would still take that chance. If it's a magic seal, then surely there's a magic seal remover somewhere, right? Magic missile. Like that dude in Hunter x Hunter who could remove Nen. Because the worst thing they can do is drag my ass back out again on the battlefield. And they were already gonna do that anyway. I guess they could also repetitively kill me until I lose all my memories and become a zombie.
So this video is speculating on what you could do in the world?
I think we see this when one of the characters—
Target audience is 15-year-old children. For the video, no, it's for like 23-year-olds.
Who's a thief, confesses that he doesn't know why he stole this coffin, implying that he probably died once before and got resurrected, losing some of his memories but keeping his tendencies. By the way, the coffin contains a goddess.
Mr. Gems, always remember to not give the human race the out of accusing the thing being popular because it's for kids, because that's never the case. It is adults.
This is our weapons used to fight against the Demon Lord, and they have to bind with someone so that someone can use their powers. This girl just looks like a Pikmin. What bro was thinking in his head.
Did I do recap in my video? I hope I didn't. I was given great critiques. Surely I was. Right? Just click on the fucking thing. Let's hear some critiques. There's some context at the beginning, but it's not
I said
recap.
it was going to be contemporaneous in 2026.
Cringe.
2026, the year, has been defined by a singular anime. Sentence
True, that was a funny joke.
Be a hero. This show got the Moist Critical treatment. It got a 58-minute first episode, and it's a fantasy light novel adaptation that looks really good, moves really fast, and has notable animation.
True, that was analysis of the current anime scene. That's not recap.
No wonder it's on the fast track to being made. It's also somehow
That was a Sopranos joke. Oh, and I use Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsule Monster Coliseum music throughout this.
not an isekai, which is the selling point that made me give it a go after the funny Mushoku Tensei adjacent discourse
True, referencing
first made me
discourse.
aware of it. If you know me, I
This guy making this video has got so much to
like
say.
stillness. And if you know me, I'm not the biggest fan
True. Now we're hearing his opinions on things.
of action, most of the time. So the two primary sellers of this show, its animation quality and its action, don't really hit home for me. And I'm not the biggest fan overall of the art style either. But still, I thought episode 1 was enjoyable enough. There's the inherent subversive sort of meta to the title and the premise that's intriguing. Sentenced to be a hero. Now wait a minute. That doesn't quite sound
Commentary on the premise.
right. There's an implied commentary of what it means to be a hero and perhaps a promise of a more realistic and dark portrayal of heroicness in that. In those who find themselves constantly fighting on the front line. Or is pretty cool. There's an excessive amount of blood spurting out of both the evil demonic creatures and our human fodder characters. Shout out to that one cool shot of the two colored bloods mixing in the river or whatever.
I didn't do any recaps, so my video wasn't bad, so I can shit talk this one.
All goddess characters are either just little sister vibes or the 3,000-year-old tsundere. I guess it's because our main character is already like a tsundere type, so we need like the quirky little sister character to balance him out. And then this guy's just an idiot. The golden trio. The plot is fairly unique. We're at a time when
That was analysis.
anime is oversaturated with... No, let me say that again. We are plagued to fuck with generic, overdone demon lord hero stories. Wow. Wow. This reminds me of the blight in Princess Mononoke. You know, that fuck-ass deer? It's
Spoilers.
just a cockroach mutated from Chernobyl. It's quite refreshing to see an anime take that concept and twist it entirely.
Was that a funny joke? He said the generic word. Me? No, I called him the G word.
Without it feeling like a gimmick.
Every audience, every anime ever, Heath is saying. Well, this car guy is pretty good at writing these videos. He should make more of these. Shut up, Mr. Gems.
This isn't the first
Denji
criminal
video
as an
coming
MC
out in 2
anime, I'm
days.
sure, but it's the first one that feels real. Xylo, the main character, is absolutely hated by everyone he meets. He could save a
I love the great, it feels real, praise. Now, I guess that kind of is the end point of my Denji video,
bunch
but,
of Holy
you know,
Knight's asses from demons, and they would still draw their sword
that's about being evil, being real.
hard just because he rescued them. Which, as a viewer, it's annoying as fuck and I want to rip their heads off, but if I was in their shoes, I'd be wary too. Especially when you find out the reason why he was sent.
True.
It's for the guy who gave him fake info, as it sets up for a revenge story. Only time will tell how good this anime will turn out, but they're off to one hell of a start. You probably noticed that the whole time that I was yapping, there has been non-stop action on your screen. Dude, one fight in this episode would mod the entire season of One Punch Man Season 3. And there were like 5 to 6 fights
Not One Punch Man Season 3.
in the span of an hour. It's hard not to be excited. Hell,
Did
I'm
you
excited.
hear
Everywhere
about
I
that chat? I
see,
think
it's people glazing the heck out of this show, calling it anime
I think it wasn't so good. Oh my god, is he shitting on Nicholas
of
Live?
the year, anime of the season. It's gonna overthrow JJK Free Run, and it's gonna be better than Mushoku Tensei. The director of this show, Hiroyuki Takashima, previously
No, he was just using it as a thingy.
worked on individual episodes of Mushoku Tensei, and Studio Kai, that's animating this show, worked a lot in tandem with the main animation studio on Mushoku Tensei. I think it's easy to fall into the trap of, oh, it looks good, so it's anime of the year. So lovely. But there's a reason why shows like Supercube, which had
True. There's another thing in common with all these fucking shitty anime YouTube channels, is they all hate solo leveling.
incredible anime.
Like, I know, it's just so fun. It's just like each individual community has its own tier list of like things that's deeply respected and things that are like total like trash.
With a butt-cheek story never got anywhere aside from that 1 or 2 episodes. It all comes back to the story and the pacing. If you're just animating for the sake of animating, it's a waste of time and a waste of talent. That's what makes me cautiously optimistic.
True. You need some substance behind those flashy visuals, guys. Now we're going to learn how to YouTube from this guy next. The YouTuber you fool, you're not taking in any information on this 2x speed lamel. I was listening to every frickin' word.
Recently, 2 different hyper-popular anime released films that made theatrical
This guy sounds exactly like that Noah Samson guy.
runs, and they've had drastically different reception. Popular anime released films that made theatrical runs, and they've had drastically different reception. The Chainsaw Man
See, over here, we like Chainsaw Man, a real intellectuals anime, but we don't like shitty Jujutsu Kaisen.
Recently, 2 different hyper-popular anime released films that made theatrical runs, and they've had drastically different reception. The Chainsaw Man Reze Arc movie has not only been a significant commercial success, it's also currently the #1 ranked movie on my anime list and broke into the top 250 movies ranked on IMDb. Whereas Jujutsu Kaisen Execution has many asking whether or not it's even worth watching. Which leads to a couple questions. Why is there such a large trend of anime series releasing movies? When does it work, and what differentiates mediocre from great?
True, I'm sure Peter's Anime has a lot of insider information about the tactics of movie-tizing something versus TV-tizing
Welcome to
something.
this week's video. My name is Pei, and today we're talking about an anime film
Or is it
I
going to
can't
be because the people really want it, because it's good?
imagine being presented in any other fashion. Movies in the anime industry have a long and complicated history. But before we jump into any specific example, I believe there are tons of different types of anime films, and we should probably start by trying to categorize them. The first and most obvious, and definitely not the focus of this video, are standalone projects. Movies that are often original works made to be just that, a movie. They tend not to tie into larger IPs, are made by very specific studios, and kind of sit outside of the realm of what most people are colloquially referring to when they say anime. Some examples of standalone projects are Makoto Shinkai's work, like Weathering with You, Suzumi, and the most famous Your Name, or Hayao Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli films. And there's tons of individual examples beyond that, like Perfect Blue, Silent Voice, or Akira. Similar to how there's a distinction in the West between cinema
Hey,
and
I've seen like most of those movies.
television, when people use the term anime colloquially, more often than not, they're referring to the entire industry built around shows. For many reasons, like Miyazaki's standoffish relationship with other anime, or how these film studios tend to exist in a different ecosystem, these standalone films are often categorized differently, because despite checking all the boxes that qualify them as anime from a medium standpoint, they seem to kind of fall outside of anime as an industry. So with all of that said, when I'm talking about anime movies today, I'm talking about the other 3 categories that I have for them, all of which are related to anime's
We
television
freaking
industry.
love recap movies.
The 3 remaining categories are recap, canon, and non-canon films. This is where the thesis of the video comes into play. Why was the Reze Arc movie outstanding when so many other
True, there's been a million Naruto movies, but none of them were canon, so no one cared.
anime films are lackluster? To answer this thesis, I think there's one major question to explore. Why is the anime industry making movies? And within that question, I think there's 2 clear subcategories. Why are they making movies from a practical and artistic standpoint? The first obvious answer for practicality is money. The anime industry famously runs off of small margins. Lots of shows release at a loss, with successes predominantly making their money back in manga sales and merchandising. There's an entire video to be made.
Is that true? I feel like I've seen a bunch of videos talk about this, about how making movies obviously makes them a lot more money. And I feel like nobody has any idea if that's true or
about the
not.
monetary aspect of anime films, and there are better examples than the two I'm focusing on today, but it's an important component of this larger trend. According to every source I've been able to find online, the Reze Arc movie's budget was $4 million. That not only categorizes this film as low budget, it makes it fall in
Wasn't that also not true or something? There was some discourse about that.
the lower end of the spectrum of low budget. It's the equivalent of two Hallmark films. Zootopia 2, a Western animated film also in theaters, has a budget of $150 million, which is almost 38 times bigger than Chainsaw Man's. However, the Reze Arc film has grossed almost $180 million. That's a pretty good ratio. In an industry where profit is very hard to come by, anime movies have been remarkably successful. The Demon Slayer films are by far the strongest examples of this. Infinity Castle had a budget 5 times bigger than Chainsaw Man's at $20 million. Yet that film grossed $780 million worldwide. The more research I've done on the anime industry, the more I realize how opaque the window is to see behind the scenes. A lot of this information involving numbers, especially budgets, is speculative, but what we do know is that the money coming in is substantial, especially when these anime movies hit. So money is an obvious incentive behind this increase in anime films. But what about the part that's significantly more important to me? Artistically, what's the benefit of making a movie versus a show? There's this term from a book called The Anime Machine.
We care about art here, chat, alright? So take some fucking notes. Holy fuck, I can't type today. True, you're embarrassing yourself, Mr. Jones, but don't worry, I forgive you. Oh, this is the guy that did the Freerun videos. Apparently, I'm trying to learn how to be a good YouTuber here, Mr. Gems.
From film theory. It's called the specificity thesis. It argues that different artistic mediums have unique qualities. For example, Brandon Sanderson, an educator and established fiction author, argues that books struggle with action. To properly explain a fast-paced action sequence through text is difficult. It's far from impossible, but in comparison to live-action film or animation, where action sequences happen right in front of your eyes, there's an extra layer of friction in books. But novels have the unique benefit of deep insight into characters' minds, so action sequences that focus more on the decision-making process and the personal experience will often benefit from the medium of writing. All different mediums of storytelling have inherent advantages and points of friction. While they don't ultimately determine what stories are being told, they influence them, which leads to the question of what are the artistic trade-offs between film and television, and how does it apply to Chainsaw Man's Reze Arc and Jujutsu Kaisen execution? We can actually use these movies to frame that question. What does differ?
Okay, I'm bored. We'll skip to the middle.
Question that gets explored a lot in the story, asking how much of Denji's feral nature is a byproduct of his childhood and stunted development versus the nature of his being as part devil. Because after watching multiple disappointing movies, Denji finds himself crying, and he turns to see Makima in 2.
It's just, it's the worst framing.
Multiple times throughout the story so far, Denji wonders whether or not he has a heart, and the audience is left to wonder whether or not Makima has one too. They are, for lack of a better term, seemingly sociopathic, each struggling to connect with the emotions of others. Where Makima is highly manipulative and aware, Denji is the opposite. The movie that finally makes them cry ends with a scene of a man coming home, presumably a soldier broken by circumstance, emotionless and cold. A woman, like his mother, hugs
Presumably.
and holds him, and he doesn't hug her back. This movie's filled to the brim with symbolism, so it's easy to assume the significance here. I think the scene is meant to be interpreted. I don't know what it represents to Makima. It could simply be an attempt to manipulate Denji. Makima's motives at this point in Chainsaw Man's story are incredibly opaque, but I do think there's something genuine here with Makima, which I think is one of the most effective ways to manipulate someone like Denji, to very purposefully show parts of yourself. I think Denji leaves the theater, not only having resonated with the movie.
This is a 0% chance that Makima is like manipulating Genji here, I think, because she has a very firm stance on movies at the end, so.
Also seeing it hit for someone else. He's a character with very limited empathy, so desperate for affection, which comes to the next part of the movie I want to talk about, the introduction of Reze.
Jesus Christ, we're introducing her 12 minutes into the video. What Chainsaw Man Part 2 is really about. Do you think this video is good? Let's skip 10 minutes.
Chainsaw Man Part 1 is arguably one of the best narrative stories told in new gen
Oh,
anime
it's
and manga.
this
A lot of
guy.
people love the dynamic between Makima and Denji, along with the found family of Denji, Aki, and Power. But when you often ask the average Chainsaw Man reader how they feel about
I've seen this guy before. We found our new great anime channel. Oh yeah, the covers video, right? We watched this video with Alita Ri, I think. But I didn't think it was about anything. Well, now I'm half curious. But also I have like, what do we got? Oh no, we got 22%. We can start this this stupid fucking video. Bringing up the anime machine Lamau. Who did the anime machine? What's that mean? This guy is more pause and select than Cynic Clinic pilled than you, Kyle. Are we talking about Pei Does Anime? He does chapter reviews on TikTok. Yeah, I think we found that out last time.
Chainsaw Man Part 1 is arguably one of the best narrative stories told in new gen anime and manga. A lot of people love the dynamic between Makima and Denji, along with the found family of Denji, Aki, and Power. But when you often ask the average Chainsaw Man reader how they feel about Part 2, you're probably going to get a 50-50 split on people's receptions to Part 2. There are some people who genuinely believe that the story of Part 2 has dethroned Chainsaw Man from being one of, if not the best, new gen mangas. For other people, they think Part 2 is fine and there's actually no flaws with it. Maybe people tend to land more in the middle, where definitely we are noticing
True, but nobody loves it.
Chainsaw Man Part 2, a lot more of the Chainsaw Man community is reading it weekly than they did with Part 1. Especially after the Reze Arc movie, we are seeing a very huge transition of people going from anime only to now reading manga. So Chainsaw Man Part 2 sits in a really weird place where oftentimes it's compared to Part 1, and given the fact that the characters, are the same with Denji staying the protagonist, but we're also getting new characters, like finally the reveal of the Death Devil, also with Asa as
True, Denji did stay the protagonist. Don't listen to this fucking propaganda about this dumb woman.
one, and given the fact that the characters, are the same with Denji staying the protagonist, but we're also getting new characters, like finally the reveal of the Death Devil, also with Asa as a new co-protagonist. But this has led a lot of people to believe that Chainsaw Man Part 2 can never really
What?
up to the height that Part 1 developed. And well,
She's in
Death
it like
Devil,
half the time, you know?
also with Asa as a new co-protagonist. But this has led a lot of people to believe that Chainsaw Man Part 2 can never really live up to the height that Part 1 developed. And while there is some debate on whether this is true or not, I think I want to make this video more so about what is the actual theme that Part 2 is trying to say. Because I think when you look at the story and the way that it's structured, it's supposed to be almost a commentary, not just on Denji, but how Part 1
What could he say? I think the theme of part 2 is exactly the same as part 1. I think it's about perpetual dissatisfaction and the impossibility of happiness. Not to spoil my video. Now, I believe this was the video that said, like, what was the thingy? Like, life after trauma, which is kind of, I could see where you're going with that. I don't think we're supposed to take Denji's trauma too seriously, though. I think the one Denji trauma we are supposed to take seriously is the fact that he killed his dad, but nobody gives a fuck about that, so...
One turned out. That trauma is not just something that happens and it doesn't happen. It's not an
Oh my
structure.
God, trauma.
It's supposed to be almost a commentary, not just on Denji, but how part 1 turned out. That trauma is not just...
People say every fucking story is about trauma, when really what they just mean is, like, bad things happen to them in their past that they have to get over. Now, maybe that's a very reductive, like... It is trauma in a very reductive sense is what I'm trying to say. But, like... I don't know, are any of these stories about trauma? Like, I would probably say Berserk is about trauma, but Berserk is more about, like, getting your life in order or something. In that sense, it's completely different to Chainsaw Man, right? Because Chainsaw Man is almost entirely descriptive, I think. Outside of that, it has, like, a cynicism to it. But it's also got a comedy to it that, like, helps even it out. I don't know. Berserk is about facing demons and saying cheesy one-liners. True. Somebody did say that in a video one time.
just something that happens and it doesn't happen. It's not an off and on switch. There is life after trauma, and I think that is the central theme of Chainsaw Man Part 2. Theme that Part 2 is trying to say, because I think when you look at the story and the way that it's structured, it is supposed to be almost like...
I think trauma just makes people think it's more mature. I think trauma is like a good, like a, it is definitely a buzzword, but it's just like a, you know, Chainsaw Man's like about trauma, you know. And you know, guys, I have a lot of trauma too, so, you know, I just relate to it, you know. I've been through some shit and I understand some big concepts, you know.
Commentary, not just on Denji, but how Part 1 turned out. That trauma is not just something that happens and it doesn't happen. It's not an off and on switch. There is life after trauma, and I think that is the central theme of Chainsaw Man Part 2. And I want to go into all of it and kind of talk about what are the things that people are often missing, especially given the fact that, I'm going to be honest, the Chainsaw Man Church and public safety in Part 2 can be kind of confusing. So sit back, grab a snack, and here's everything that I think is important to understand Chainsaw Man Part 2.
Unless you read it all, then you get it.
To understand Chainsaw Man Part 2, you need to understand who Denji was by the end of Part 1. One of the central themes of Chainsaw Man Part 1 is what does it mean to be normal? We spent a good portion of the story, especially in the earlier arcs of Part 1, really examining Denji and his poverty. For example, he would eat Himeno's throw up because he's naturally inclined to swallow anything if it has nutritional value. Denji and Reze are a commentary on the fact that Denji never got a formal education. All of these things are extremely important because when we come to understand Makima's motives in the end of the story, she finds it actually difficult to kind of break Denji given the fact that he was still happy in extreme poverty, because for Denji, that was his baseline of understanding of this is what life is probably going to be for him. It isn't until Makima enters his life and starts to manipulate what happiness is supposed to be.
Well, she gives him more and then she takes it away.
Is where we start to see Denji start to be groomed by Makima. Makima makes a comment of how the only way she could really break Denji
He was
and
just
in
so
turn, like,
groomed.
make null of the contract between him and Potita is by adding happiness to his life so she could eventually destroy it. She gives him food, she gives him money, she gives him a family with Aki and power, because she knows if Denji could be happy in extreme poverty, how could he ever be less than happy by taking away things that he already had? It was to give him stuff and then to take away from it then. By the end of the story of Part 1, not just with the defeat of Makima, but with Kishibe and Denji's final debrief, we really see Denji kind of, you know, recognize he doesn't want to be someone's dog anymore. That for him, the inability to make decisions and having someone else make decisions isn't actually going to lead him anywhere. And I think for him, that's a very beautiful recognition. We see him do this not just with people like Makima, but also with people like Kishibe and Aki. Denji is someone who really looks up towards people to kind of have them be a guiding light, a North Star even. So Denji kind of makes this recognition that he wants to be more independent, that he's not thrusted with Nayuta, which really is a true example of Denji given a real...
This is kind of true, but kind of not true. This was the reading I had at one point, but there is an important part where he has, like, the realization when he talks to Kobeni, and Kobeni's point is that, like, well, everybody is just kind of doing what they're told, no matter the circumstances. Like, Denji was doing what he was told by Makima because he was in love with her / he wanted to get his wish of having sex with her. But even, like, post this, obviously he basically has to do what Nayuta says. It's a very different relationship because outwardly he is the parental role here, whereas Makima was more the parental role previously. But, like, he still has to, like, kind of do what Nayuta says. Like, he's not allowed to date Asa because Nayuta says he can't. And then even after that, like, he's pressured by Yoshida into, like, doing what they want and stuff like that. Now, it's probably going to come around to the end of him, like, making his own choice again. But I don't think this is something like he's, I don't know. Obviously, my stance is that Denji doesn't develop or anything, but he's just going to kind of go in cycles. So we'll probably just learn it again and then unlearn it in Part 3.
real sense of responsibility. I've talked about in some of my TikToks of how Denji and Nayuta's dynamic almost feels like a single father kind of dynamic, where for a lot of people, not just in anime but also in real life, that they really start to experience a sense of responsibility when they either enter a romantic relationship because you are now responsible for someone who is not just your own when it comes to happiness, but more often than not, it really comes from having children. And with Denji, when it comes to taking care of Nayuta and being a caregiver,
True, it's the scene where he doesn't date Asa.
get like a part-time job of selling cigarettes to homeless people in part 2 to raise up money for her. And this is for Denji the first example of stepping into the quote-unquote normal life, and that is being responsible for other people, not just being, guided along with other people by being someone else's dog. If part 1 really is the formation of Denji's trauma, part 2 is the navigation of life after Makima and life after it has been ingrained in who he is. And with that, we can now understand what part 2 is trying to tell us now that we have the landscape of Denji, and what is Chainsaw Man part 2 even about? What I really like about Chainsaw Man part 2 is the fact that it asks the question, if Denji wants to have a normal life and wants to be a person who rejects Makima and rejects the idea of being someone's dog, wants to be more independent, what does that actually look in practice? One manga that actually I think of in comparison to this story is Blood on the Track.
Nayuta does call him her dog a lot too, so.
Shuzo Oshimi, a very, very famous but also very dark manga about parental abuse and domestic violence.
I
And
don't
love the
even
story.
know this
Ironically,
one.
It also experiences a lot of the same backlash, is the fact that the story also has a time skip of after the main character kind of grows up and has distance away from his mom. And I think that often for a lot of people, they didn't like it. They felt like it didn't have enough closure for them. And for me, it actually, puts into practice that trauma is not something that like just goes away. It's not like something you
Oh
just,
my god, the
don't-
Berserk example is right here.
no contact with. And I think Shuzo Oshimi's story, along with Chainsaw Man Part 2, is what really manifests of life after the incident, or a period of instances, for example, with Denji and Makima. Denji's appearance in Chainsaw Man Part 2 is arguably one of the most consequential and telling parts of his character in the story of Part 2. We see Asa and Yuko running away from the Bat Devil until the Cockroach Devil is pushed into the Bat Devil. We later learn that this is because of Denji, and we get Denji's grand entrance into Part 2. The Cockroach Devil then puts Denji in a ultimatum. Would he rather save a young boy with a bright future, or save a car
I had to collect panels from this chapter today too.
for elderly people? Denji actually ends up rejecting the ultimatum and saving a cat instead. This arguably is one of the most important parts of Chainsaw Man Part 2, because it did lead to the reveal that this is why the Fire Devil is not happy with Denji. Because for us, the reader, it's like, oh yeah, Denji's just saving a cat. But for the Fire Devil, and by extension the fact that she made a contract with the twin boys, who was later to be revealed as Fake Saw Man, it frustrated her that Denji, who has a hero complex almost, can reject
I don't know if it frustrated her.
saving people and not actually thinking about the difficult choice of being a person who saves a car full of elderly people or a young person, but instead claims hero status by letting people die and saying, well, I saved a cat instead. This
I think he's going down the responsibility track here.
decision-making process is complicated, but it's not something that's in isolation. It's a pattern that we see a lot with Denji in Part 2. Denji is at a weird tipping point where he really wants to be Chainsaw Man, but he wants to also have a normal life. But that's incompatible. When you are responsible for a young girl like Nayuta, we see Denji, like sell the cigarette butts, take care of her, get her to school, and try to save up for her to go to college. It's at odds for him trying to have that while also being Chainsaw Man. He's actively putting himself, Nayuta, the cats, dogs, their entire family in risk and danger because being Chainsaw Man is dangerous. But we also see a bit of Denji's kind of headspace where he asks himself, like, is a normal life what he always thought it was going to be? And what I find really interesting about Chainsaw Man
There's like 7 chapters where he's miserable.
Part 2 is the fact that one of the only characters that really recognizes the role that Denji is grappling with is Barum. Arguably one of the most disliked characters in all of Chainsaw Man. Barum is one of the few characters who actually understands this and even asks Denji, what side is heavier? The side where you have, friends, family, a community,
True,
your
this is
pets,
an important part of
a
my
girlfriend,
video.
like a job, like all the normal things that come with being normal, or the weight of pulling his starter. And I think the fact that Barum is being able to recognize this also plays really well into one of the bigger things we're seeing in Part 2, and that is the role of institutions. Part 1 has a lot of the characters be a lot more interpersonal in their decision-making process by saying, I think this is what is best for you, whether it is Reze or Makima, or even Himeno and the idea of being crazy to survive, public safety. There's almost always someone telling Denji, this is how you should be to happy to survive. Part 2,
There was we could have gone much further with this part. There is the part where Denji is threatened that Nayuta will die if you become Chainsaw Man, and he says, "I'm still gonna be Chainsaw Man" to Yoshida. This is a pretty I feel like we're whitewashing Denji's behavior a little bit, but I think this video is pretty good so far. Every time I'm like, oh, you kind of got to bring up this, he brings it up, so this is much better than most Chainsaw Man videos we watch. Oh god, the ally you need is Kill Movie. Is 6.8 out of 10 on Mal. That's sad. Oh god, the ally you need to kill movie. So it's like a show or something. Berserk is oh, true. I already said that one. All you need is kill. Oh, the Edge of Tomorrow manga was getting a movie, I think.
who takes that and puts it in 100 by instead of having it just be people, it is now institutions. And I think this is how you should be to be happy to survive. Part 2 takes that and puts it in 100 by instead of having it just be people, it is now institutions. And I think it's really digestible when we see the commentary about the United States. I think for a lot of people, seeing that the United States should have its citizens be like this, or this is what true American patriots are like. It's a lot more understandable for people, but it can be a little bit confusing when we then put that in the lens of institutions we see within Chainsaw Man Part 2, where we have public safety and the Chainsaw Man Church. Public safety with Yoshida as the mouthpiece tell Denji to never turn into Chainsaw Man again. And
Oh my god, is he bringing it up?
to serve as the public good. It actually does put the story of Chainsaw Man in a very interesting kind of
Oh, no.
philosophical stance of if Denji has the ability to turn into Pochita, and Pochita has the ability to erase devils, and devils can represent humanity's worst fears and things that we hate and can erase them out of existence and rewrite history essentially, does Denji and Pochita have a responsibility to serve the public? And I think public safety does do that in very interesting ways, but like a lot of institutions, it's not perfect. If anything, it is very corrupt. We see public safety have almost a huge anxiety, not just to the prophecy that we see in Part 2, but to things like getting older, like dying, a lot of the things that are natural, a part of life and stuff. All of these are a very beautiful commentary on honestly Japanese society and the Japanese government. I can make a whole other video about how the aging devil is a commentary on
I don't think any of this is I don't think most of this stuff is supposed to be put together. I think it's like individual jokes that are like clever and like it is pieces of commentary, I guess, on society in little places. But I think to put it in a row is like disingenuous and then try and make a point. I feel like they're much more disconnected in an intentional sense.
On the Japanese government and having young people be sacrificial for it because the elderly population is one that should have like the best quality of life. But really,
like that is true, but I don't think that connects to the public safety institution stuff.
Safety kind of take into shape what they want Japan in the future to look like, and really using Denji and Pochita sparingly. They threaten Denji by saying, "Do not turn into Chainsaw Man." The Chainsaw Man Church, or the Chainsaw Man Church of World Peace by its official name, is arguably a lot more confusing because when you look at public safety with Yoshida, the elderly people running it, even Fumiko, it's a lot more understandable what their goals are. We are also a lot more familiar with public safety because of the role in Part 1. Granted, they're not as cool as they were in Part 1. They're a lot more evil now, but the Chainsaw Man Church, which was headed by the Death Devil, Barum, and Haruka, their goals, along with the weapon hybrids, was to really recruit, especially young people, into believing in the Chainsaw Man cause. They had a lot of people who were either survivors of Chainsaw Man because Chainsaw Man saved them from a devil attack, and their main goal was to really get Yoru and Pochita, or Chainsaw Man, to be a lot stronger, really fuel them to get them
I
ready
just
to fight the
freaking
Death
wanted to
Devil.
watch
And yes,
the
I
end
do
of
find
this
it interesting-
video, but I can't. Like, should I- It's typical. Wow, good joke, a little bit. Interesting videos, maybe other stuff, you know, Alita retries sometimes, but you know, when you're standing across the ring from me, Alita, of course, he's gonna look like he doesn't understand Chainsaw Man. My goodness. I'm trying to backspace here. Mr. Gem says good night. We've still got plenty to do. We can't be good nighting yet. We've got to work on a Denji video or something. And upload that Evangelion video that we've already recorded when Alita finally gets off his freaking ass and uploads it to the Google Drive. But anyway, look forward to that. That should be out for real. I don't know what Mr. Gems is referring to, the Denji video or the Ava part. But the Ava part should be out tonight, and the Denji thing should be out in a few days. So let's all be crossing our fingers. Mr. Gems, make sure you shit on Jarky Bacon in the comments for all the mean things he says about Neon Genesis Evangelion. I don't care about the stinky Chainsaw Man manga. True. Frick Chainsaw Man. But yes, you can look forward to Evangelion. But I must leave now. We have gone flat. And that means we must sleep. That was dramatic, huh?